All right, Adam, back with another one. Buff 'em updates, and we got a lot of things to cover today with a lot of news and things going on. Controversy with Coach Prime, new players, the scrimmage game going on in practice still this week. A lot of things to cover, but how's it going? How you been today? What's happening? What's shaking? Tell me about it.
Yeah, no, I'm doing excellent. We got a chance at Media Day last Friday to sit down and do a ton of one-on-one interviews. So, just going back through that, I'm going to have a story on Chidoze Wankwo later today, just talking about kind of the differences in the role he's going to play at Colorado. He's going to be freed up to be a little bit more of a versatile player than he was at Houston. And he talked about how he does this all for his daughter. And so these are some cool stories that you get into when you get a chance to sit down with these players because it's back in the day we could do one-on-one interviews, but they're coming right off of practice, and sometimes they're a little tired, they want to hit the showers and go get some food. And so being able to have uh, time to really kind of get to know some of these players on the team at that event was really cool. And certainly the press conference had its own fireworks as well.
Yes, we're gonna get into that as you were in the room. Definitely for had a firsthand look, and just I want to see what you thought about that. But let's talk about the scrimmage that went down. First of all, what did you take from the scrimmage? I saw the running backs were able to break it down because of their production. But like Uncle Neely and I discussed yesterday, that if the running backs are doing well, that means that the offensive line has opened up holes for them. So they're doing a great job. But then you saw the defense come back and make a stand later on in the practice. So tell me from your perspective, how did they look out there?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about that scrimmage is that we've kind of accepted that Travis Hunter is this unicorn, and we've almost gotten too used to it.
Yeah.
Because if any other year prior to last year I had covered or seen a scrimmage at Colorado where a player had a big interception and had two or three touchdown receptions on offense, I mean that would have been the talk of Boulder, the talk of the country. But we're used to him doing that now. But it's incredible, just the consistency that he practices with. And when he came in, he was focusing on receiver, and now he's able to go both ways, full time, and obviously in games and scrimmages as well. And so that's the first thing that I thought of, was just that it's pretty incredible that we're not taking him for granted, but maybe we just get too used to how special he is. The playmakers just showed up. There's not one playmaker, it doesn't seem, offensively that didn't make a play. Now, then I think the natural reaction would go, well, the defense had a bad day. Well, when you're doing those preseason scrimmages, when you're scrimmaging in the spring, you're doing so much situational work and you're doing a lot of red zone stuff. So it's not like the offense was driving 80 yards down the field every time. And like you mentioned, the defense certainly had their moments as well. And how about DJ McKinney coming off the edge to block a field goal in that scrimmage as
Yeah,
well? He's got
that was
that
impressive.
crazy length as a cornerback, and it's smart that they're going to utilize him in that role. We'll see if he can get his hands on one of those during the season.
Hey, now that's big. You said something about that because I watched that and I saw that, and let me talk about it from I guess a coaching standpoint, so to speak. First, you're going to say, yeah, great job, DJ, coming off the end, getting the block. And then you're going to immediately say, what in the hell happened on the
Yeah.
offensive side? Why is he able to get back here? And the reason why you're going to make a big deal out of it, because we saw this happen in the spring last year where gave up two block PATs in the spring game, right? And then now we're still having issues with that. I've never seen so many blocks happen on PATs or field goals as I've seen these past 2 years. Somehow, some way, this has to be fixed. And the reason why this is close to home to me, because I've said this before, that end guy on the line, that was me. Pretty much every every year I played football on the field goal team or PAT, that's the position I was in. And I'd be darn if I was going to give up a block off of my edge. Now, as the edge guy, you have the responsibility of the outside guy and the inside guy, right? How are you going to have responsibility for both of those? Well, you got to get out there and set yourself as wide as you can and make yourself, with your splits be as wide as you can so that this outside guy where DJ McKinney was, has a longer edge to get across or to get around rather than a shorter edge. Whether you should send the edge shorter or not, that's on you and how you get up there and you line up. So last spring we saw, I think it was Champion Johnson line up there, and he got beat to the inside. Boom, boom, twice. Now we see a guy line up out there. I couldn't see who it was, and he's getting beat off of the outside, which means that he's lining up too tight. I guarantee you the special teams coach or coaches are finding out what happened, and they're going to correct that, and they should be correcting that, because if I'm any other team out there in the country who has a computer and YouTube, of course I'm watching Colorado to get any type of insight I can, and that would be one thing I'll look at and say, man, they still having problems on special teams. Anytime they line up on field goal, we're coming after it. So my little 2 cents to at least I could give some advice to the staff and say, hey man, we got to get that right. We got to fix that, find out what's wrong, and get that right. That's the same thing going on over and over again. That's a slow leak in your tire. Fix it and stop just keep putting air back in your tire and letting it keep going down again. That's what I would need to say. So if somebody want to be mad at me for saying that, they go ahead. But that's real football criticism from my point of view.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is it happened on August 10th, right?
Right.
And so I guess that's the one positive from that side of the ball of that special teams unit that you would say is the saving grace there. But yeah. You got to obviously clean that up. I thought Michael Welch, again, showing why he's probably going to get on the field and contribute to this team with that run where Preston Hodge met him was about the 1 or 2 yard line, and Michael Welch was not going to be denied that. That was one of the more impressive plays from the scrimmage as well.
Oh, I think I muted myself, but I agree with that. Michael Welch definitely showing that he's elusive and has that power to break those runs, and then just have the nose for the end zone and getting through tackles and hits and all those things. So he's showing that power in that low to the ground running style. Also, Brandon Hood, did his thing out there. So you got 2 freshmen who are really showing what they can do, along with the established guys like Hayden and Augusto, and also Charlie Offerdahl. We can't keep forgetting about Charlie. I think he's going to be a force back there. This whole group, I just hope Coach Flea goes with the running back by committee or the hot guy at the time, rather than trying to force feed 1 or 2 guys. Go with the hot hand, because all of these guys are good running backs who can contribute. And the offensive line going to be key to that. And speaking of the offensive line, we have to say this. We just added in another offensive lineman. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we lost Ethan Boyd, who came over from Michigan State. And so he was an offensive lineman that we thought was going to contribute, at least be a backup. He left for whatever reasons. And now we have a guy coming in. You could tell us about him, and I'll give you my analysis about him also.
Yeah, and real quick, just to close out on the running backs, now that we're 2 weeks in, it's crazy. I don't think that competition is any more decided now than it was going into camp. There just doesn't – all those guys are making plays, and they all bring something to the table. I know Coach Flea said last year going in, he said the same thing this preseason, that he wants 2 guys. And you certainly don't want to be playing 4 running backs in a close football game, because you want, a couple guys to get in a rhythm. But I mean, throughout the course of the season, it's hard at this point envisioning a scenario in which those top 4 guys, maybe even 5, if you throw Brandon Hood in there, are going to have a substantial role at some point. So I don't know. That was just, I was thinking the other day, I was like, if I was going to do another depth chart prediction right now, I would just flip a coin for that running back group right now. And maybe you, at some point, just have to go with Charlie Offerdahl. I was watching the Well Off Media's video today from practice, from Monday's practice, and Charlie broke another one. So, I think he's gotten the respect of his teammates. That's pretty clear. Got the respect of his coaches, and the media, I think, is maybe got to be on board as well at some point here. I mean, I've always respected what he can do, but I just had never projected him to be that number 1 guy. But the longer this keeps going on, you really do have to consider that as a possibility going into the season opener. But with Cardell Thomas, a former top 100 recruit coming out of high school, went to LSU, played in some games there, but was not a consistent starter. So he went to Florida A&M, FAMU, and was a starter there and really got some of that college experience. And he was a guy that drew some Power 5 interest when he hit the transfer portal from FAMU. Once Willie Simmons left their staff to go on Duke's staff, and so UCLA, Vanderbilt were some of the schools looking at Thomas early on. It was kind of a strange recruitment, though. It kind of died, and then he was going to go to Central Missouri, a Division II program, until Colorado stepped up with an opportunity late. And I think maybe Ethan Boyd, even though Boyd was maybe projected a little bit more as a tackle, this is a guy you bring in to kind of fill some of that role. But he's going to be a senior, and so he's coming in. He told 24/7 Sports, "I'm coming in to earn a role." It's going to be tough to come in that late and do that, but this is somebody that's got that sense of urgency and is going to be practicing with the Buffs and getting his feet wet leading up to the season. I like adding an extra body in there. You got to get all the insurance you can for this upcoming season with Shedeur Sanders, and so adding Cardell Thomas, a guy that is going to be a pretty good run blocker and is a guy that had some experience early on at LSU and a lot more last year. So a good pickup, especially this late in the game.
Sorry, the wind was really blowing, so out here it's like it's going to be a storm. But the only thing I would say is it is a late pickup. We'll see if he can contribute in the first game. I don't know, to be able to pick up a offensive blocking scheme this fast, but maybe mid-season, after the third game or something, he'll be able to jump in there and do the thing. But I'll say this: if you were to add someone and you needed a body, I think he is probably the best pickup you can get at this point. With him being a former top 100 recruit, he really went viral in 2018 and 19, I think, from a camp that he attended where they were doing one-on-one drills and he was just smashing everybody, in the one-on-one drills. And being from Louisiana, really came up as an LSU fan, really wanted to attend LSU, did the thing there, had some injuries, ended up at FAMU. I want you to say FAMU too, not FAMU. They're going to get on me about that. We got to say FAMU. So FAMU, he was there, and they won the championship last year. He contributed to that. If he's still in shape, if he still has that LSU type, foundation, should I say, in the weight room, and he can come to Colorado and contribute, I think it's the best thing you can ask for, because he is a guy who has a lot of talent and a very high ceiling, even though he's a senior. Now, the reason why I think it also helps out this team so much is because you see a guy like Tyler Brown, who is projected to be an interior offensive lineman. We've been seeing him work at right tackle for the Buffs. We've been seeing Khalil Benson work inside at guard. Also, Justin Mayers is at the guard position. It's probably one of those spots where we still have Kareem Harden left over from last year, where we want to bring in another guy to kind of solidify that guard battle, because we know that Mayers seems like he might be solidified the left guard spot, but then you bring in a guy like Thomas who can push him for that, or who can solidify that right guard spot where Tyler Brown and Khalil Benson has been kind of battling at. So another higher level guy rather than a project or a backup like you might look at maybe a young guy like Yaya, or even a JUCO guy like Kareem Harden. Here's a guy from LSU who was top 100 2019, who has a lot of talent. Last year, sure has connections with Coach Riz from FAMU, who's there on the recruitment team for Colorado. Corey Phillips, who was at LSU. I'm not sure if he was there at the same time with Cordell, but I'm sure they know some of the same people. So probably kept in touch. And when the opportunity presented himself, he realized that I can go to Colorado and, possibly get on the field right now if I do what I need to do. So I think a great quality pickup once again for Coach Prime and Colorado on their offensive line.
Yeah, one other interesting note in there is that Cardell Thomas told 24/7 Sports that Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh Sanders had been on him for a long time. Actually, when he was transferring last year, they were trying. Actually, when he was leaving LSU, they were trying to get him to Jackson State. So it goes back quite a ways in terms of their relationship there. And like you mentioned, Corey Phillips and Coach Riz as well. Yeah. So you have open scholarships, and you
Most
have
definitely.
you you need to do, like I said, everything you can to ensure that Shedeur Sanders is going to be protected this year. That this was certainly a no-brainer move to make.
And if there's any other offensive lineman out there that might be looked over, or any other players out there that might be in a transfer portal or looked over, hey, come to come to Colorado, and holler at Coach Prime and everybody out there to try to get it in. If y'all got any questions, you want to join the conversation with Adam and myself, hit us up in the chat right now. Leave a comment or a question right now. We'll make sure we get to it. We got some other things to cover right now, but Adam, go ahead and plug and let them know where they can find that article once again on Cordell Thomas.
Yeah, just head to buffstampede.com. It's still on the front page, but if not, you can search Cordell Thomas 24/7 in Google, and I'm sure it'll pull up his profile, and the article is linked in there.
All right, so the elephant in the room, of course, been for the last couple of days has been Coach Prime and a certain reporter he had an issue with. Actually, it was two of them in there. One of them he said I don't have an issue with personally. It's just CBS News. I think a lot of the news coverage out there has been lumping those two together. So you were in the room. I heard, and we got Neely's response yesterday from his perspective being in the room. What's yours from being in the room?
There was a point, I think it was probably midway through last season, that I started to just think in my head, it's only a matter of time before this back and forth happens, because I think Sean, who's a talented writer, hit below the belt with some of his writing. It to me seems sensationalistic, and I know that columnists are a different realm than what those of us that are on the beat are doing. And there's columnists that take heat in every market because they feel like they're the ones being it real. And you can have concerns about this football program, but some of the stuff that he wrote, again, it was this feeling that Coach Prime is going to have to buck back here, because it had gone on for a long time. And so when that happened, I certainly wasn't surprised. With Eric Christensen, he's such a good dude. And I know that Coach Prime said it was nothing personal with him. But at some point, I do hope Eric is able to ask some questions, because he asks really, really good questions. He's been around Colorado press conferences for a really, really long time. Again, I understand Coach Prime's issue was not with him, but so I felt a little bit bad for him just because he wasn't able to ask a question. But Sean Keeler, that needed to happen.
Damn. So you saw it coming, is what you're saying. Some of the articles he put out there. Is there anything you can kind of quote or know about?
I'm not going to quote him, but no,
I mean, not quote. You know what I mean? Not quote,
you
but
can
kind of
you can go back and there's a way to tell a story without little jabs all the time, right? You know.
There you go. Yeah,
So.
I understand. Like, it's a way you could do things without making it, like you said, taking those jabs, just extra stabs or whatever. And in the video, you kind of heard him say, I got to feed my family. I got to feed my kids or whatever. I kind of took a step back to that, because I was like, first of all, you're basking in it on Twitter. Second of all, you're saying you got to feed your family. Well, everybody in here is feeding their family, I would think, with this, but they're not doing it in that fashion. There's ways you can speak about Coach Prime or any other coach in a respectful manner without taking jabs. And as my grandmother used to say, you'll get more bees with honey, right? So wouldn't you be able
Sean's
to feed
over
your
there
family?
with his vinegar, and it's not working out too well.
Exactly, dog. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I say this too on YouTube when people use like clickbait and stuff. I always refer it to or compare it to like selling candy as opposed to selling vegetables. You might have a longer line, but you're not doing good for the people at the end of the day. Eventually people will come around and realize these vegetables are better for them, and they probably should have been eating them in the first place. But with this guy, I think if you would have just come with a different tone, I think you could get more out of Coach Prime, and then you could feed your family more if that's your reasoning for doing it, for feeding your family. Then, by any means, feed your family how you want to do it. But if you're saying it in this way, I think you could do it even more had you, done it respectfully. And Coach Prime probably would sit down and talk to you, which would bring even more to you. So that's how I look at it. And but some people choose to, I think, consciously choose to go a different route, or feel like they're going to catch somebody doing something, or they're going to play detective or whatever it is. Well, more power to you, but now you're gonna have to do it from over there, and who knows if you'll be able to ask this man another question in that light again. So, good luck to you, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, like you said, there's a different way to go about it. And there is a need for real well done journalistic work in this country, in sports. And that is an important fabric of America. But like, I hate to bring up the Athlon story again, but like, listening to a disgruntled transfer or two, thinking that that's a full picture, or again, like in Sean Keeler's case, was being very sensationalistic with things, and and he doubled down after that press conference. The comment that Coach Prime was showing fear. I didn't sense that for 1 second, that entire press conference. And yeah, he just came off the practice field, so I'm sure there's some level of intensity any coach would have when you're just sitting down meeting with the media. But that it was very clear that Coach Prime loves this football team. And then to see the follow-up article that this screams 5-7. I've said this many times. I've covered a lot of 5-7 teams in Colorado. This is not a 5-7 football team. If you want to make that as your prediction, that's fine, I guess. But to base that off the fact that Coach Prime called him out at a press conference as the reason why he thinks there's fear and that they're going to go 5-7, that doesn't connect. That doesn't connect for me.
Right. And then I always hate when people say stuff like this right here. You came in angry, or you came in feeling like this. How can you tell me how I'm feeling? Like, that's crazy. Like, you could tell that somebody's coming in feeling a certain way because they're going 5-7 next year, or this. That's you cold blooded. You need to be in the whole different profession if that's how you can read things. You shouldn't be sitting there asking people questions. You should be Miss Cleo somewhere. You should be on TV making predictions. What are you doing?
Every press conference, every press conference we've had with Coach Prime, he's had a very similar disposition coming in. Every single one of them. The one exception was probably Washington State, when he was just sick as a dog and needed to, I think, be carried into the stadium for that game, and he was super sick, so he was kind of low energy that day. But no, his energy coming in at the press conference last Friday was the same as it had been previous times.
Yeah, man, that was crazy for me to see. Not in a unforeseen way. Like a lot of people say, that Coach Prime. Oh, I'm just getting some news in right here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, because somebody asked me. I had to, check in. Somebody asked me about in the comments, was Khalil Benson hurt? And because also we heard Coach Prime mention that someone might be out for a season, or there might have been a season-ending injury. Any news on that? But I did get word that Khalil Benson had a minor injury, but he is good.
Yeah, you're saying that Coach Prime was mentioning that there's a season-ending injury. Is that correct?
Yes.
We have not heard a report on that yet. We didn't have media availability today. Well, I'm not sure. They handle injuries and some of this news a little bit different right now with Coach Prime, especially because he's got his own media team. So I don't know when we're going to find out about that. So yeah, not quite yet, but they have been working in a lot of new guys with the ones, and like you mentioned, Kareem Harden got some run with the ones. Today it looked like Curry Walker got some run at guard out there as well. So so we'll find out on Benson and this other player hopefully sometime soon.
Yep, and also another guy, I'm not sure if he's on campus yet, but Ian Massey was the safety who came over from Oregon State as a graduate. Has he been on campus yet? I'm not sure. But if
he's been added to the roster, so if he's not practicing yet, he should be soon.
Okay, well, that'll be a great addition, I think. in that defensive backfield. Also, we're seeing R.J. Johnson. We're seeing Savion Riley back there making some plays flying around, along with Herman Smith III, Cameron Silman Craig back there at the safety spot. So bringing in Massey, another smart, experienced guy, should I say? I think he's going to bring some head hunting back there. Another guy that likes to hit like Shiloh, but he also gets some interceptions, as we've seen in his practice film. So looking forward to Massey and Thomas added to this team. Yeah, we hope it's not Taylor Johnson. Yeah, Big Tyler Johnson. We haven't seen him much, so hopefully it's not him, because he was one of those guys that was projected, with high PFF grade to be a starter, but then kind of Tyler Brown emerged and Justin Mayers emerged. So it's three guys who could be starters at guard there. And we also seen Khalil Benson take snaps at the guard position. And now you're saying today, as the film shows, Kareem Harden has been working with the one. So a lot of shifting and moving around those parts for Coach Phil Load. Hope to see what's going to work best to keep Shedeur Sanders upright and to open up those holes for the running game, because that's going to be huge for this team's success, whether it's on the offensive side and on the defensive side of the ball, to keep the defense off of the field. We talked about the running backs earlier. My question last week was the depth at cornerback. Can guys step up behind who we project who will be the starters in Colton Hood, Preston Hodge, and DJ McKinney, along with Travis Hunter as the first four out there? Will we see somebody else on the field at the cornerback position? Anybody been stepping up that you might can spotlight or give a little shine to?
Yeah, I think the name we keep going back to there is Colton Hood. And I don't know if it's going to be this year as a starter, but I think he's going to be a multi-year starter at Colorado if he sticks around in Boulder. He's that talented. You saw Ivan Yates out there. It seems like a lot of times in those clips, and again, it's not the whole picture, so I don't want to paint it that way. But it's like some of the catches that are made on him, he's right there. So he might be kind of on the fringe of being part of the discussion. So we'll see there. But even Isaiah Hodges is somebody that's easy to forget about, and it was cool to see him go over to running back and have a pretty good spring game. He's back there at cornerback as well.
Yeah, Isaiah Hodge, very I guess shifty player, kind of like a utility player in baseball. You can move him around, multi-dimensional. You can play him on offense and defense. I saw him in the scrimmage with the white jersey on rather than the black jersey, but I didn't see him get any reps there from my point of view. But just a good Army, what you call it? What's that? What's the knife? Swiss Army knife? Am I
Swiss
saying it right?
Knife. Yep.
Swiss Army knife. Yeah, one of those. One of those type, man. Y'all know what I'm trying to say out there. We live, definitely. R. Crawley, let me see. Hey, Big Dog, checking in from Maryland. Coach Prime is going to make a great grandpop Prime. Blessings to him and his new role, Pop Pop. Yes, congratulations once again to Coach Prime having his first grandson, finally getting him one. So congratulations to him. Adam, are you looking forward to becoming a grandfather?
Oh no, I'm way far away from that. We have 3 teenagers, but yeah, don't make me think about make me think about that yet.
Yeah, my oldest girl is 9, so I don't want to think about it either. No time soon, Big Dog. No time soon.
Yeah, and our youngest is our girl, and she's going into 8th grade this year, and it's like just to see how quickly she's growing up. It's like, man, I just want to hit pause. I definitely am not ready for any of that stuff yet.
Definitely not looking forward to it. Adam said, heck no. What are you talking about, man? All right. So for everybody checking in, we got like 200 people checking in. We appreciate y'all checking in. Any questions, put them in the chat before we get up out of here. Shout out to Brian Howard, too, who was there right there next to you. Brian said he started sitting next to you now just to stay out of shooting range of Coach Prime. How is it? How has you guys been recapping everything? Everybody could check that out too. On your last recap, how was that? And what were some of the key things you guys talked about?
Well, it was kind of what I let off earlier when we were talking about media day, just the excitement of being able to get to know these guys And I know that that's something Brian really likes to do is the player features and get to know these guys. And Brian's a big chit chatter. I don't know if you've picked up on that yet, but he likes to chat people up. And so just him being able to go around the room and talk to all these guys, I know he enjoyed that as much as I did. But we were also pretty excited about the fact that they're going to have an open practice down at All City Stadium in Denver this Friday at 6:30 p.m. I think they're going to let the media in, fingers crossed, because I really want to see that. If not, I mean, it's an open deal. I'm going to have to find a way to get in there. So not for any negative reason other than I just want to see this team practice with my own eyes, right? So
I think that's nice, man. They just had a family fun day, and then now they're going to Denver for this scrimmage, for this practice, open practice. I think it's great for the community to get to see them if they never had a chance to, make it to Boulder for a game or whatever. Of course, it's all over TV, but you can see them in person this Friday. And tell us, were you able to see anything about the Family Fun Day other than I saw it on Isaiah Hodges' page, so y'all can check that out on his YouTube. The Family Fun Day event, another one put together by Coach Prime and Miss Mama Ty, as they call her. Just building that camaraderie in the community and on campus. Have you seen things like that in the past? Tell us about those and how can they build kind of like that that camaraderie and excitement for the season to come.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty nice setup they had down there on the lower practice fields for that event. I don't remember them doing that in the past. They've done, a lot of like barbecues with families and things like that even before Coach Prime got here. But I don't remember seeing a mechanical bull down on the lower practice fields. I didn't see a whole lot of video from that event, but I did see Chidoze Wankwo try to ride that thing, and it's. I think he should stick to being a bully to blockers.
Right. Hey, nice one. But the guy who did ride it, of course, we probably could have predicted it, was Ben Finiself jumped on that thing and he knew how to work it. You got to work it. You got to have like a rhythm going rather than just getting on there trying to manhandle it. You got to have a little finesse with it, So I haven't ever had a chance to do a mechanical bull, but one of those guilty pleasure type things that I'm looking forward to, I think, because I want to try it. I'm not going to get on the real bull like Chad Ochocinco did, but I will try the mechanical one, but I do kind of think it's like the basketball rims at a fair or at a carnival where the rims are bent just a little bit, right? I do think the mechanical bull, like the saddle on there, is very slippery. It's like a surface that is not going to give you like a leather type grip, like a saddle or something.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that it's made to make you kind of slip off, But I digress.
And you don't want to look smooth on the mechanical bull anyway. It's more fun when you look silly flying off that thing.
Oh, I want to ride that thing. I want to be the one to stay on there for 10 seconds and talk smack. I'm put my hand up. Pause. No diddy. All right. But we're going to go let you guys go from here. Any questions, put it in the chat for the next show. Buff them updates again with Adam and Chico. We're going to continue to bring you the updates and the insights from the Colorado Buffaloes. So that's why we want you guys to join the conversation. So get in the chat and comment and share this thing. Find Adam where? Let him know, Adam.
At AdamCM777 on X, and go to buffstampede.com for our content.
Got it. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on at BiggDogg Chico. You see it right there. You see it right here where you can get you a nice ad up there and donate to the channel and all the other good stuff. All right. So until then, we're going to leave you with let me see. What can I leave them with? We got a clip from that Uncle Neely blessed us with that we could share from from this little interview once again. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but we're gonna play it before we get up out of here, just for you guys out there. And y'all leave y'all comments. Let us know what y'all think.
Couple more.
Coach Sean Keeler, the Denver Post. Happy summer, my man.
You don't like us, man. Why do you do this to yourself?
Come on.
You don't like us.
Mark likes me, by the way. Huh? Yeah, Mark said he likes me. So
hold on, let me pause it right there. See what I'm saying? I hate listen, guys, if y'all still listening with us, let me pause it right there. You see how he kind of, first of all, he said happy summer, knowing it's this man's birthday, right? And then let's stop right there and say that's an honest mistake. He didn't know it was his birthday. Okay. when Coach Prime said you don't like us, he thought he was playing with him. Sean thought he was playing. That's why he point. Well, he doesn't like me or he likes me. So he was trying to play. He was lighthearted at first until he realized Coach Prime was dead serious.
The guy he
okay,
the guy he pointed at his name is Mark Knutson. He's actually a neighbor of mine, not like next door neighbor, but he lives in the same area as me. And he was a pitcher for the Colorado Rockies back in the day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. What's his name again?
Mark Knutson.
Mark Knutson.
But now the problem with Mark Knutson is he's a CSU and Nebraska guy. So that's why Sean and Mark get along so well, I guess.
Okay. And they sitting over there on that side of the classroom. That's how it's gonna be in the next class session, quote unquote. They're gonna be sitting over there by themselves, man. Dang. Hate it for them, but
couple more.
Coach Sean Keeler, the Denver Post. Happy summer, my man.
You don't like us, man. Why do you do this to yourself?
Come on.
You don't like us.
Mark likes me, by the way. Yeah, Mark said he likes me.
No,
So that's
you
one.
don't. Why do you do this, though?
No, I'm sorry. Two-parter, if I could.
No, I'm serious. Why do you do this? Like, you know you don't. Like, why do you do this?
No, it's not about that. Football question.
No,
Football question.
why do you do this? Like, it would be hard for me to really engage in someone I don't like or something I don't like. I'm just asking why. Like, why?
Gotta pay
What
the
did I
bills.
do?
You didn't do anything. It's not about that. This is a
But
football
why?
question.
I'm asking you why.
Yeah, you can answer that. It's
Okay,
not
answer me.
Yeah.
Because you want me to answer you. So
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Why?
Why? Because I have
Give me
questions.
your why.
What's your why? What do you want to know?
Why are you always on attack? Like, what did we do?
Where am I on attack today? Where am I on attack?
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you opportunities to be on attack. But I'm asking you why. Like, what does it do for you? Like, what happened?
It's not about me.
But what happened to get you like this?
It's a good question.
No, I'm serious.
all right.
I don't know if you could tell when they were panning back and forth, but I was part of that picture. I'm just kind of
Yeah, you like
I'm not getting involved in this.
like, nope. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it.
I asked my question. I was good to go.
Hey man, that was a funny little conversation right there, man. But hey, you guys have seen it. Let me know what y'all think in the chat right now. Adam and I are gonna get up out of here, but we appreciate you guys joining in. We're gonna continue to bring you guys more right here through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other good things. Make sure y'all follow us, hit the like, subscribe, and share, and all the other good stuff. We're gonna be up and about of this thing. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah. Buff 'em updates.